Hello, I'm Dr. George Hruby from the University of Kentucky, Executive Director of the Collaborative Center for Literacy Development. First of all, I want to salute you teachers in Wyoming for the great work that you do each and every day. And I also want to salute you for the good work you do. And by the good work, I mean the crucial work of keeping our diverse society, our shared culture, and our nation whole and sane. It becomes increasingly clear with each passing news story and media event, each more prurient than the last, that we cannot depend solely on our policymakers in government to do that for us. We cannot depend on our financial elites to do that. We cannot depend on our celebrities and movie stars to do that, although they're fun to look at. It's our hardworking, everyday people in our local communities that keep things running, and at the center of those communities are our teachers, educating our children, grooming our future fellow citizens, preparing us for the future while maintaining our best and most noble traditions. Thank you for what you do and for playing this video. I'd like to preach to the choir for a moment and say a few words about student differences. You know, on anything you can measure people on, they differ. Health, weight, height, age, mortality, dexterity, strength, smarts, personality, drive, goals, and that's okay. That's the way it should be. That's the way it is, and not by accident, or because the world is defective, or our schools, or our teachers, or our kids. Our schools are not factories, and students are not toaster ovens or smartphones rolled out the assembly line, where an imperfect copy is an industrial production flaw. Unless you believe in social engineering by the government, that's the wrong metaphor. Conformity, Ralph Waldo Emerson said, is the hobgoblin of little minds. Frankly, it's un-American. Our schools are our public gardens, and we are living organisms, and like any species, we produce with variation. You see it in flower beds, litters of puppies, clutches of chicks, among siblings in a family. You see it with ideas on the internet. Teachers see it in classrooms every single day. Indeed, replication with variation is so ubiquitous in the living world, philosopher Daniel Dennett has called it the universal algorithm. Replication with variation, he says, on behalf of selective adaptation in the face of ever-changing environmental contingencies. It's how Darwin suggested that evolution works through natural selection, of course, but it's also how your autoimmune system works, how it keeps ahead of unpredictable pathogens in the environment. It's how synaptogenesis and neuroblast migration in the brain works as you learn and develop in response to new information, challenges, and experience. It's how your protein chemistry functions. Yes, teachers see this variation in their classroom every single day, and they often try with varying degrees of success to address it on behalf of personalized or differentiated learning, to take students from where they are, wherever they are, and move them forward as far as they are able to progress. We rely on different theories to do this, and some of them are better supported by research than others. For instance, multisensory education, learning styles, and multiple intelligences are ideas that have been popular for years. Yet, repeated scientific research and meta-analyses have never shown it to have any effect on student achievement. Perhaps the right research study hasn't come along yet, or perhaps categorizing people into typological categories isn't such a good idea. We don't know. We need to be honest and humble about what we can say with certainty. Our theories, some theories have no research support at all. Brain-based education, for instance. It sounds terrific, scientific. But to date, there are no peer-reviewed studies to show that teachers who teach with the brain in mind do any better on measures of student achievement than teachers teaching in any other way. Of course, if a theory gets you excited and energetic in the morning and gets you through the day, maybe that's enough. But it would be nice if the time, effort, and resources devoted to an idea actually did some educational good for the kids. One idea that might be taken more seriously is persistent personality traits. It rests on decades of scientific research, and there's even research to show that it plays a role in the classroom. In one study, for instance, it was found that teachers gave higher grades to students with personality traits similar to their own. That's a good example of unintended bias against students due to diversity on characteristics we educators haven't given much thought to. One of the big 5 personality traits, for instance, and very well supported by research, is the degree of a student's extroversion or introversion. It's a continuum, not an either-or category. But teachers who are strongly to one end or the other might be biased against students at the other end. It's known, for instance, that reasonably bright introverted students often struggle in elementary grades, but find subjects to excel in secondary grades and take on like nobody's business in college. Is it a coincidence that elementary teachers are largely extroverted and secondary teachers are more of a mix, and that college professors are generally on the introverted side? It's something to think about. Or conscientiousness, another of the big 5 personality traits. For obvious reasons, conscientiousness is a job requirement for teachers. But there is nothing pathological or immoral about students at the other end of that scale. Personality trait continua are not about better or worse. They're not about mental health or intelligence. Who knows, easygoing, come-as-what-may types may prove more adaptive to unpredictable challenges and be successful in life if they get an equitable educational experience. In any case, student differences remind us that we are all unique. It may be easier to herd the little ones, but by the preteen years, students have goals and objectives all their own. At that point, meaningfulness becomes imperative in successful instruction, and while there are matters about which we can find common cause, meaningfulness is a highly personalized thing. The life lessons of a student from infancy forward are inscribed in the body and in the brain, enacted and modified in the classroom and subsequent learning and development. Our sense of meaningfulness is as unique as our fingerprints, a part of our identity, and should be respected as such. Policies that would measure us all by a single standard or benchmark, as if it were society that were being educated rather than individual children or teens, are probably too clever by half. Learning in life doesn't work that way. Thank you for lending me an ear, and keep up the good work.